Hi everybody, just Zoe, your friendly neighborhood dialysis patient, back again. Today I wanted to talk about changing the Tegaderm dressing. Um, this is a waterproof dressing. I prefer this to the other one, which is called a Me-Pour, which is basically a piece of gauze with a bandage on the back. But I work out every day, I also shower every day, so this one is what works for me. In my combined 7 years of doing dialysis, I've only now just started changing the dressing myself. Prior to this, I've always left it up to my nurses. But now that I'm training for home hemodialysis, everything's up to me. So I can now safely change this, and I thought I'd share that with you. If anybody else has a dialysis catheter or a port of any kind and they have approval from their doctors, I am not giving said approval. I do have that, so I'm just sharing what I've learned. But it might be interesting to somebody else that might not be. Well, here we go. So you start with completely clean hands. You can also wear gloves, but I find it a little difficult to maneuver around the dressing when I have the gloves on. So I just wash my hands 3 or 4 times and just make sure that they're completely clean. And then I also have all of my equipment here and ready to go, so that once I have the dressing off, I'm not moving around. Once this is open, it's a direct shot to my heart. This catheter goes through the jugular and then through the heart. So anything that I introduce to the line could be very, very bad, very bad. So we don't do that. I have everything ready, and once I take this off, I'm just good to go. So let's go. I'll tell you what I have with me. I have my dressing, which again is called a Tegaderm. I have a clean 4x4 gauze. I have SoluPrep, which is the basically the alcohol disinfectant that we use. And I also have a wonderful new thing that I've just recently learned about, and that's Cabalon. I was getting hives along the sides, especially when I worked out or in the summer. And it's a skin barrier, but it's not only that, it actually makes the bandage stick so much better. Unbelievably much better. So if your hospitals have this and if you're okay to use this, I would give it a shot if you're having difficulty with the dressing and either staying on, or because it's plastic, sort of getting hives around it. So the dressing is in 3 parts. There's the upper part, lower part that goes around the lumens, and then a little strip here that sort of makes the seam, seals up the seam. So we're going to start by taking that off. Again, we have very clean hands, and once we start going, we finish. We don't move around. We just get it done. If I can grab it on. There we go. Okay, that's the first part done. Then we're going to go to the lower part here, because it goes around and onto the main part of the dressing. So we're going to take that off. And we're holding on to the catheter. You do not want to pull on this. I've heard horror stories of people actually ripping them out accidentally because they just yanked the dressing off without making sure that the catheter was safely in place. You don't touch the site at all, but hold on to the line and just make sure it doesn't move. Okay. Of course, I'm having difficulty getting this part off. There we go. Now using the SoluPrep, we go from the outside in, from the inside out, never from the outside in. Again, you don't want to be introducing anything towards the site. So we use one side here, and we're just going to gently clean it from the actual site outside, like this. Never going back. Once you've left that field, you don't go back to it. Then I'm going to flip it over and do the underside. Again, same thing, from the inside out. And it is like an alcohol, so it does dry very quickly, but you do want to make sure it's dry before you seal it up, because then you end up with a chemical burn, and those are very not painful, but they itch a lot. They are red. It lasts a couple of hours. It doesn't end, but they're not fun. So I'm just going to take gauze by the corners and dab that just to make sure it's dry. I just don't want, because it's a plastic bandage, it does seal in that moisture, and it can be very irritating. Then I'm going to use the Cavalon, and this actually dries really, really quickly. I'm not exactly sure what it is that's in it, but it dries really well. And for this, I just go around where the dressing is going to be. I don't go near the actual site. So I'm just going around anywhere that the dressing is going to stick. Especially for me down here, when I work out, this tends to be a bit of an issue. But again, since I've started using Cavalon, it hasn't been. I do apologize, it's a bit difficult to do in a camera. But I think we've got it. And again, it does dry really quickly. I tested it on my hand a few times just to see the dry time, and like right now I just did that and it's dry. So take another clean gauze, and I'm just going to dab it. Again, I don't want any moisture on there once I actually put the dressing on. Okay. The dressing itself, like I said, comes in 3 parts. So this is the whole dressing. We're just going to take it like this. Make sure that the window is over the site. You want to always be able to see the site so that it's not, you don't want it covered, so that if there's any irritation or anything, you're getting a good view of it. So we're just going to throw that there. And this like so. And then just really make sure it's sealed up. Like I said, I do work out every day, and I shower every day, and so I'm very aware of making sure that this is stuck on properly. Even when I had the nurses do it, I would always double check everything. Okay, and then we just peel this off. Not saying I double checked because I didn't trust them, just that I'm a worrier by nature. Okay, so that is pretty good. See, it's covered. The lumens are out. These are lumens. Now we're going to take the underside, this part, and this for me is a bit tricky, especially on camera. You just want to put it under the lumens and up and around there. That wasn't too bad. Sometimes I can make it prettier than others, but this time it's okay, I think. And I just, again, make sure it's really covered, really stuck on. And there's just a little tab that you can pull. Take off the little corners like this. And then the last part is the strip that goes across the top, and it basically kind of seals up the seams. So you just match that there. And there we go. And again, there's little tabs you just peel. And there, that is how to safely change a Tegaderm dressing. Again, I am a worrier by nature, so I just make sure it's all covered up. And there, I think that looks okay. So thank you so much for your continued support. I really, truly appreciate every one of you, and I love the community that we're building. And if you have any questions about any of this, I'm happy to answer. If I don't know the answer, I have a fleet of nurses and doctors that are geniuses with everything that I've ever asked them. So yeah, thank you so much, and I will be back again soon. Bye.